Welcome to the BubbaShow, the show that attempts to break down the walls between man and computer. Today's show is going to be about music. Now, when you think of computers, you usually don't think of music, although a lot of people do think of them when it comes to the CD or the games that are played. We have two of the greatest people in music of all time here with us in the studio. Between them, I think they probably have about 45 billion records sold. That includes both some of the great Lawrence Welk music that they've done and some of the heavy internal street rap music. We have Daoud and Chris. Daoud is a producer for some of the biggest bands in all of music. And Chris is a musician, producer, just persona extraordinaire. He's toured all over the world with the bands. Daoud, tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
First of all, before we start, can I just do that just one time?
Go ahead.
BubbaShow. Okay.
Show.
Now,
see, I supply you with what over there.
I just had to do that. I just felt like
No, don't throw that thing.
I produce rap groups, baby. R&B. I do it all. My main thing is computerizing the sound and synchronizing it into the type of drum sound that I'm trying to get, or looping. Making one sound the same 100 times all the way over. And I've been doing this since 1986 up in New York with a guy named Jeff, his studio. He was like one of the very first people to introduce the computer type sound, or synchronizing it, using the computer as its MIDI and bringing it all out into oneness. And your brother is like up to date with it now.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you, this is my brother Chris. That's why he's a persona extraordinaire.
Yeah.
And if you notice, we really look a lot alike. See, can you see? That's my brother Chris. You can see him on the screen now. And then somebody will take a picture of me. Then maybe we'll see me on the screen next to Daoud. Yeah. See my brother. Daoud. See, we look like awful.
He's my little brother. Yeah.
But see, I'm a little bit smaller than him, as you could tell. So Chris, how do you use music? What are you doing right now?
Producing 3 different CDs. Jazz pop, and a solo jazz one.
And what kind of stuff are you doing?
I'm doing it entirely with computers and ADAT interface, ADAT machines, all types of modules, sound modules, tone generators.
What is an ADAT machine?
ADAT machine is a digital 8-track machine that uses Super VHS tape to record
sounds a little bit like this, don't it?
Audio signals.
Is it an audio signal or is it a digital signal?
At first it's an audio, it's converted to digital.
Okay, so the tape is used to store digital information, kind of like a floppy disk or something else. What makes that so important, the ADAT particularly important?
Because it can store vast amounts of information.
Is it also a standard that's used throughout studios all over the world?
It's probably the #1 standard in the entire world for recording audio.
So if you were to create something, then you could go play it in any other studio?
I could bring the ADAT tape, bring it to any country in the world, or I could ship it across the world. They could put drum, like you were saying, do a loop of a drum over in Australia, ship it back to me. I could put guitar on it. I could ship it over to Hawaii. Somebody could put keyboards on it. Send it to
Slovakia. Like the Frank Sinatra album.
Like the Frank.
They never met each other and they all sang together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't get mixed up, because the ADAT and a DAT is 2 different things, and it sounds the same. For a rookie who's in the business and don't know about the difference, a DAT is a little small cassette type, but it's real small, smaller than the regular cassette. You can put about 120 minutes worth of music on it. ADAT built like an 8-track, but really a little larger, like a VHS.
So the VHS tape.
Exactly, super VHS.
You're passing around.
So don't get mixed up between an ADAT and a DAT, 2 different things.
And so you're recording on the ADAT.
Bubba knows what a DAT is. They use DATs in computers.
So you're when you're recording, how do you use the computers? I mean, you do the looping, and I'm not real sure what you're talking about when you say looping. Can you give me an example?
Like, for example, I want to take something from Sly and the Family Stones. I want to take their bass drum, the main beat from their record, and put it on and make that same sound, exactly the same sound, over and over again for 4 minutes straight.
Okay. So you hear like ba-ba, ba-ba,
Yeah.
ba-ba.
taking the bass line.
Okay.
And just use it.
Like, thank you for letting me be myself.
Had that same sound going all the way across for 4 minutes. And that's what usually hip hop is today. They did it, they started with James Brown. Then they went to Chic. Good times, dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun.
Oh yeah, good time. I'm swinging out, man. And then you add the voices on top of it.
You add the voices on top. You can add other things in it, other tracks. You know, a little bit of snares, little claps.
So if you didn't have a computer, how would you do it?
You can still do it, but the computer just synchronizes everything into a crisp sound.
So it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, especially if you use digital. Like your brother has a digital type of a sequence in his studio, and the best sound in the world. You can't beat it. It's today's way to go, you know. And I'm not a computer.
Sounds a little bit like this, don't it?
Well, I say it the opposite way. I'm computer illiterate. My wife is computer literate. She's well balanced with computers. She'll type on.
But you use computers.
I'm forced to. People from yesterday. I'm in my early and you know, people from yesteryear was forced to use it today. They forced.
So everybody uses computers.
You have to.
So use computers.
You have to move in today's time, or you still be back in
So when it comes to the
70s.
music, though, you really couldn't put out the rap songs that quick if you had to use tape, because you'd be sitting there, you know, making one tape, cutting the tape again, cutting the tape again, cutting.
Can't do it
You
without
couldn't do
computer.
it.
And not the crisp sound that people are looking for today. You can't do it. It's very hard.
So what's some of the technical stuff that you would talk about when you talk about music on the computer?
Well, first thing
You said digital. What does that mean? I mean, when you talk about the sound right now, there's
it's interpreted in I think binary code.
okay. So the first thing that we hear, what would you call that? Analog.
That's analog.
Okay, so analog is what we hear, and it's just the plain way we've been doing it with tape recording.
Yes.
Like the way the show is done with videotape, that's
Reel to reel.
analog. The tape
That's
running.
basically called analog.
Magnetic tape.
Now, digital? What does that do?
Digital samples the sound. It all depends if you're doing 16-bit or 30 at certain intervals. It's not like a steady stream of recording like regular magnetic oxide particles. When you record, it's a steady stream of recording.
It's getting technical now.
But digital,
Magnetic oxide.
but digital is like a sampler, but it samples really fast. So a lot of people say, well, I like analog better than digital because analog is a continuous sound. Whereas the sampling, depending upon how good your sample converters are, your analog to digital converters,
So when you say sample, what you really mean is it's recording.
it's a recording.
So it's actually, you know, I guess you could divide up a sound, and you could divide it up into, if it's 1 second long, you could divide it up into 60 pieces, and it records each one of those pieces separately, and that would be digital.
Or you could take one piece and make it 60 times, sounding the same.
And you make 60, and that would be 1 second of digital. But if you had analog, it would just be one straight, kind of like the way film is. When film
As
goes
opposed to
down,
video.
As opposed to video, video does the same thing. It records 30 frames for
30
every
frames a
second.
second.
Yeah.
And you lay it down that way, so you got 30 pieces. Each time, 1/30th, 30 times each second, video takes a still picture, turns that into computer code,
Gee, that was
and then
really
puts
easy
it
for
on
you
the
to
disc.
say.
Yeah, and
And
digital works, I
Getting
guess,
back
the
to
same.
There's two of 'em,
multimedia,
there's
a lot
two of 'em,
a lot
run
of
for it.
multimedia is a compression scheme because they don't have the hardware to interpret that sound into digital like the really good type hardware that pro musicians use. Where
So they're slower, so they
so it's a
don't
lot
do as good
slower.
as
So
Much
the
slower.
sound, it might still be 16-bit, but you could hear the
So
difference.
when you talk about, you know, the difference with digital and analog is that you need really powerful hardware,
You need
really
good
powerful
hardware.
computer in order to do more of them per second, because the
Yeah.
more you do per second, the better it's going to sound.
However, it's getting scary because I heard the multimedia, like sound
Real
blasting.
scary.
It does sound good. The hardware is like, even the cheap hardware is getting
It's
good.
very good.
Yeah.
So all you hip hoppers, all the young hip hoppers, today the best way to go is digital. You know?
In the
Go all the
future,
way.
there won't be anything but digital,
Yeah.
because it's going to end.
And the future is like a half a minute from here, right around the corner.
I got
know
my
what I mean?
watch on
It
you.
comes faster.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, this is Comdex and these are computers. This is the thing that's making all the noise here. One of the fellas from the Dixie Dregs is playing. On the cartwheel mode, we're really rocking. duking it out. Who's gonna come out? Who's gonna win? We don't know. Nick Dregs, piano. Is it live or is it Memorex? No hands, Ma. See ya. So what else? Talk about MIDI and
That was awesome, man!
an
Awesome! What a
interface
guy, the
that
Dixie
allows you to
Dregs
plug
piano
in
player.
some musical instrument, and nowadays they even use lighting and things like that to plug in. But it talks to other electronic instruments and allows you to talk back and forth between them. Now, Doe, tell me how you've seen MIDI used, because I know when you have the drum machines that they all work on that. Tell me like what you know about MIDI. Just tell me about
MIDI, though.
how you use it, what you do with it.
Well, the knowledge I have of MIDI goes specifically with synchronizing all the type of sounds I want into one type of rap song that I want. You don't need that many tracks for that, but you could take 4 different layers of music and lay it on top, lay it on top again, lay it on top again, lay it on top again. Through the MIDI, through the computer, you can make it all come out.
Why don't we just
one
listen
way,
to a
one
little
specific
sample?
sound.
Give me an example of each one of the layers.
Basic beat, basic hip hop beat.
Drum, like
Basic beat. Today's hip hop is slowed down.
Okay.
So the tempo, instead of 94, 96, going real fast, it's slowed down to
So
like a jazz type of tempo, like
He getting it now, man.
boom, boom. That's one basic
Okay,
beat.
you lay that down.
You lay that down
Another one on top.
on track, but you put it on the computer. All right. So if you forget, if you go in the bathroom, come out and forget, it's still there.
Right, you go
Bathroom
boom.
go.
Yeah, you press the button, it's still there. See, that's the thing about
And then you
music.
can loop that too, so we can just keep that going through the whole song all on automatic.
Yeah. And then you get to a basic something from let's say like a War. Slipping into use their chorus.
Put that in.
Slipping into darkness. Put that in.
That it.
And that loops always.
So now we got 2 layers.
Then I put in a big heavy bass sound. Boom. Boom.
That's what I'm talking about. Get some bass down.
Hip hop to hip it. Let me stop. But anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I
Now
think
we'll
the
put
other
the
music
fourth
was a
layer
lot
on.
better.
Then the
What's
fourth
the top layer
layer
gonna
will be the little significant things that I need, like little snares, little hi-hats,
You got slipping in the darkness.
and all that sound
Boom,
together.
boom. We got all these layers going.
And synchronize
And
it
then
all
on
into
top of
one.
that, then
Yeah.
you lay down the rap. So we got a 5th layer.
Yeah, and then you also got a track for vocals.
Okay.
You lay the vocals with that on the computer. And you got a hip hop song. You got a hip hop song, especially if I wrote it. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm
That's what
saying.
I'm talking about.
But when I'm
Yep, believe it or not, this is more computer junk.
Yeah.
We have MIDI software. These guys let you play something and record it back.
Some resolution, in other words, okay? And that's
He's telling us all
used a
about
lot in the classical music. For example, with Mr. Mozart, we have something from the Magic Flute. Let's hear if he has some Q&As here. Sure does. Well, you know, we can keep going through.
One of the things that everybody asks me about all the time is the ability to do take an instrument, a keyboard, and you play, and then the computer turns that into music, and then it prints it out. Chris, I know you had some experience with this. Why don't you tell me just how does that work? What does that do?
Well, it interfaces the instrument to a computer through MIDI, which is a musical instrument digital interface. And it does that through a code, just like when you do the digital thing. It has its own MIDI code that's used. But
So the keyboard is talking to the computer,
the keyboard's talking to the
telling
computer.
it what note it played.
What note it plays, how hard you hit the note, how long you hit the note, if you use a sustain pedal, how long it sustains with the sustain pedal, if you bend the note, how long you bend the note. You can also
with the
now
guitar, because you
with
can
the
do it
guitar.
with the guitar
I
too.
control it with my guitar. So
Okay.
you have total control of every dynamic expression that a normal musician would use via MIDI.
Okay. So then it goes in, and the computer has that information, and it's very easy for it to, at that point, put on the screen a chart that shows exactly the music you played.
And the multimedia kit that you were talking about before, that uses general MIDI, GM format, which is recognized by all the different MIDI modules. And then the one after that is called the GS, which is a little more sophisticated. GS You have control over reverb,
Getting
chorus,
heavy now,
levels,
man.
pan.
So you can do even more.
You can do even more. Now there's another format called XG, which I use, has total control over
I'll
everything.
bet you do
including
use
the
it
actual
because it's got
filters,
total
the envelopes,
control.
the decay.
So what's so good about that? I mean, tell me why you like that.
It's good because now, for the first time, any crazy idea you have, you can actually record. No matter how crazy or difficult, I want it to sound like this, or I want to have the sound of a piano turn into the sound of bells, which turns into a zebra to an elephant. You know, you can do anything.
Here comes that
But then
TV
once it's in the
now.
computer with all the information, isn't it then really easy to go in and say, give me the 4 layers of that we were just talking about before. Give me the bass drum, give me this and that. You know, because I've seen some computers that you say make this whole thing that you played it jazz. I'm gonna say make it a rumba, make it rap. So right away it'll take the beat and everything else.
Yeah, there's a trend in software now. Even some of the new keyboards, like the new Korg X series keyboards, use the self-accompaniment thing, like the old organs used to use. You could just play one note and you hit bossa nova, and all of a sudden it's got a bossa nova beat.
The whole thing's there.
That's
Yeah.
the old.
Well, I've seen that on some of the
keyboards,
$30
Yeah.
keyboards
I know
too.
you're talking
And now they're doing it on computer software, like Band in a Box. That's a program where it just has, like, they have every real book tune there is, jazz tune. All you do is just the drums, the bass, everything
Automatically plays everything. Like the karaoke you see on them too.
It's like an intelligent
We're
arrangement.
here with Kathy Drumahausen in the MIDI soft booth, and she's going to tell us a little something about this crazy device, a keyboard, plugged into your computer, and it's take it, Kathy.
This is a notation-based sequencing device. What that means is it takes music and makes it digital. It's any sort of thing that'll get you a MIDI feed. Traditionally, it's keyboards, but now there's every sort of MIDI instrument, from MIDI microphones, MIDI saxophones, everything. And when you
Tell me
do
how you use it.
absolutely. You go in, you can open a new file.
Goes to the mouse.
You got your mixer panel. It goes in, you just put on a record, hit the record button, and it's not working properly. Well,
It doesn't work like most computer things, huh?
not ideal. When you play on the keyboard, the notes will show up and pop on the screen. You can also open a file that's already
Using the mouse. Back on the screen.
and once this file is open, you can go in and change absolutely anything about it.
Well, do you sell the whole keyboard and the software and everything?
No, it's just the software. There's many places you can get the keyboards.
Where would you get a keyboard to go with it?
There's almost any place you can go, from wholesale clubs to electronic musician stores.
Do they sell them at McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's?
It's very easy to get a keyboard that'll do whatever you want.
So why should everybody, all the kids out there, want to use this?
You want to use it, it makes making music really fun. You go in there, you can play, it takes away all the drudgery. It also makes it fun to arrange. When you're playing this, you can go into the mixer view, you push on piano, and with your sound card, you can play a xylophone, you can play guitar. All these things can be done just with using your keyboard or anything else that you do.
So you got a whole studio right here in your own computer.
Absolutely.
Terrific. Thank you, Kathy. We
Thank
really
you very much.
appreciate it. And also what you can do, from what I understand, is once you maybe use the keyboard to put that into the computer, then the computer can actually send the information back to a different instrument, a guitar or something else, and it will play that guitar for you so that you don't have to play the guitar anymore.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It will go both ways.
You're never stuck with that sound. You're never stuck with anything. Plus, you just save it with one of those broken hard drives of yours.
So how do you compare that to, say, because a lot of the purists in music will turn around and say, well, Beethoven used the piano, and this is electronic music, and this is not this. What would you say to people like that?
Beethoven knew what your brother knows, Beethoven be using that in his studio, and then he'd come out there and act like he's playing it, which is called like lip sync or syncing. He would use it.
That's a
Because it's the only way to go to get quick sound.
you got
And to
there.
get newer sounds. Because I know there's some sounds that you just can't make with a regular instrument.
Yeah, it goes into another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. My journey to Wonderland Land, that of about the imagination. Next topic.
You're making a piece of music. This is Brian Thomas. And let's say you're making a piece of music and you need the computer to help you out because you don't know exactly what to do. You can use Super Jam to do just that. So what we'll do is we'll start off with the keyboard at the bottom and pick a style of music. How about go-go?
My eyes are going bad.
And just in preview mode. I can change the volumes of their various instruments.
We have a keyboard on screen. And what do? We make music with it?
Right. By just choosing different chords, the program changes for you.
So we're going to throw out our keyboards, our pianos at home?
For the most part, you can, because you can play like this.
He's wailing. Yeah.
Wow, he's a really good musician, isn't he?
Any kind of sound effects you want. I don't want clavinet, I want an overdriven guitar.
He's wailing.
Then what you can do is go ahead and make a section of music
The more music.
by just clicking on the place that you want to chord, or you can even play it in with the keyboard. By just choosing different things, they automatically appear.
Cool.
If I don't like something, I can just click on it and press the delete key. Or if I don't know what to do, I can select build from shape, and it will actually compose the whole line for me the way the computer feels appropriate.
So the computer will take over and it'll play it the way it wants to do it.
Right.
So now you don't even need to come.
Exactly. And what's neat though is if I do want to customize it, let's say I like go-go, but I don't want the drums to go-go, I want a dance mix drums. I'm going to say compose. I'm going to go to dance mix 2. Now what it does is since the drums are selected, it's going to change that to dance, but leave everything else alone. So now we have dance drums, with the rest of it being go-go.
Right.
If I want to mute, I just select mute. I can put intro or
What a deal. Rocket. This is the end of humans as we know them.
Never
Thank
the
you very
end of
much.
humans.
I appreciate it.
I want to thank you for being on the
Yeah.
show. And as part of that, I want to give you one of these
Appreciate that, homie.
terrific Live from the Bubba Show T-shirts that you can have. As long
Thank
as
you very
give it
much,
back
sir.
to me once
Appreciate
the
that,
show's
homie.
over.
Yes. My new artist is weird.
Chris, I've got one for you too. Live from the Bubba Show. Chris, thanks for being on the
Swinging,
show
man.
with me.
Swinging.
Really appreciate it. It's been
Thank you,
swell.
Bubba.
So, really appreciate everybody watching. And this week, we'd like to also invite the folks from the Republic of Czech who are joining us to watch this show. We've had another 15 million people from last month's show to
Check
this
it
month's
out.
show, and the people from Slovakia who have also joined us.
Hey, was that
Ethiopians, we're working on
Slovakia?
that. Hopefully, by next show, we will have the country of Ethiopia as part of our viewership. Once again, thanks for watching the Bubba Show, and we'll see you next month. Hey, thanks everybody. It was a hell of a time.
You got me trembling, 'cause we gone too far. Ordinary. Don't know. Ordinary.
Don't forget, you may call the Bubba Show at 35